It has been 200 years since the first dinosaur was discovered, and since then these incredible animals have captured the imaginations of humans all over the world, resulting in blockbuster movies, numerous books and documentaries, touring exhibits and amusement park rides. However, the way science works is that what is believed to be fact can always be proven wrong in the face of new evidence. With advancements in technology and research techniques, paleontologists continue to learn and discover new things about dinosaurs. I've looked at 10 of these in a previous video linked in the description. However, there are still a lot more myths and false facts out there. So with that in mind, here are 10 more things you should know about dinosaurs. 1. T-Rex may not have been the biggest predator. Tyrannosaurus rex is arguably the most famous dinosaur and was certainly an enormous predator. T-Rex was around 12 feet tall at its hip. This was its highest point as they did not stand up straight, and it is believed they would have weighed somewhere from 7,000 to 9,000 kilograms. The largest T-Rex skeletons discovered, named Scotty and Sue, are both in museums in North America. However, paleontologists now think there are some other main contenders for the crown of biggest predator, such as Giganotosaurus, which was likely at least the same height as T-Rex, Tyrannotitan and Carcharodontosaurus, which could possibly have been taller at the hips. All of these dinosaurs resemble a cousin of the T-Rex, Allosaurus, but were considerably bigger. Another thing to consider is how biggest predator is classified. I was just speaking about the height of dinosaurs there, but what about their length? Sue, the biggest T-Rex skeleton discovered, was around 12 metres long, but this was nothing compared to Spinosaurus. Measuring in at 15 metres in length, Spinosaurus lived in and around water and ate fish with quick snaps of its jaws. Working out exactly how big or heavy dinosaurs would have been has always been tricky. These days, scientists make computer-generated models calculating muscle size based on the skeleton and where muscles would have attached, and including all the guts and squishy bits to guesstimate how big they were and how much they weighed. Although it's not certain who exactly takes the crown as biggest predator, T-Rex certainly has some serious competition. 2. Fossils are not only found in deserts. To address this point, here's Professor of Paleontology at the University of Edinburgh, Jurassic World advisor and best-selling author Steve Brusatte.
You can find fossils in deserts, and we do in New Mexico, but in reality you can find fossils anywhere where there are rocks of the right age and the right type. So for instance, for dinosaurs, if you want to find a dinosaur fossil, you have to go somewhere where there were rocks that were formed in the Triassic, Jurassic, or Cretaceous periods, because that's when dinosaurs lived, and rocks that were formed on land. So rivers, lakes, beaches, lagoons, the kind of places dinosaurs would live, where they might live and where maybe if one of them died, they could get buried by sand or mud and turned into rock. Anywhere where there are the right kind of rocks, you could possibly find a dinosaur. So that means, for instance, the Isle of Skye. It's not a desert. It's the farthest thing from a desert you can imagine. But there are rocks that were formed in the Jurassic period on the beaches, in the lagoons, and those rocks are exposed on the cliffs and along the modern day beaches of a lot of Skye. And those rocks have fossils in them. And there are so many places around the world that just do not fit that stereotype. So keep an open mind. That is the most important thing. Just because you don't live near a desert, it doesn't mean that, you're not able to find fossils.
That footage was taken from my interview with Steve, and I'll put a link in the description to where you can watch the full thing. I've also made a video previously with activities about fossil formation, so I'll include a link to that too. 3. You could outrun a T-Rex. Sort of. For anyone who has seen the original Jurassic Park, you'll remember the scene of the T-Rex chasing down the Jeep with Ellie Sattler, Ian Malcolm and Robert Muldoon inside, and scientists did once think that T-Rex could run faster than an Olympic sprinter. This idea has changed considerably over time. By measuring the distance between footprints and having an idea of how large the animal that made them is, it is possible to estimate how fast the animal was moving. The larger the gaps between the footprints with a narrower track, the faster an animal was moving. Unfortunately, the ground that makes the best fossils may have been difficult to walk or run on, and these footprints themselves may become distorted before fossilising. So how do paleontologists calculate the speed of dinosaurs? By examining the muscles of birds and reptiles, paleontologists work out what the muscles of dinosaurs may have looked like and how powerfully they could pull back on the bones of the legs. By using this approach, paleontologists have worked out that running, or even walking very quickly, could shatter the feet and leg bones of a T-Rex due to its incredible weight. It is believed that T-Rex could only walk at around 12 miles per hour. On average, humans can run at around 12 to 15 miles per hour. However, that is a human running at speed over a short distance, something that they cannot sustain for a long time. When running for a sustained period of time, humans only run at an average of 6.5 to 8 miles per hour. Now, while you could potentially outrun a T-Rex over a short distance, T-Rex could maintain that 12 miles per hour walking speed for a long time. 4. Dinosaurs couldn't roar. The Jurassic Park franchise has played a big role in how dinosaurs are imagined, along with the inaccuracies displayed, such as a lack of feathers, the velociraptor being much larger than reality, and even the vocalization of dinosaurs. Red howler monkeys use a special bone in their throat to produce a deep, loud roar that can be heard up to 4 kilometers away. While lions use their vocal cords and special skin in their throat to produce a roar that can be heard 8 kilometers away. Male red deer will roar to show off how big they are. And even harbour seals will roar underwater to scare away intruders. These are all mammals and therefore unrelated to dinosaurs. So let's look at the dinosaurs' living relatives. Modern dinosaurs, birds, chirrup, tweet and sing, and the loudest bird, the white bellbird, makes a loud bonk sound. No roaring. Moving to the reptile world, crocodiles, alligators and caiman produce a loud deep rumble that makes water vibrate and dance. The largest living lizard, the Komodo dragon, produces a menacing hiss from its mouth full of sharp teeth. Unfortunately, dinosaur voice box don't fossilise, otherwise we'd know exactly how they sound. However, since these birds and reptiles are related to dinosaurs, they probably made a similar sound. Some dinosaurs, like Parasaurolophus, may have pushed air through their head crest, making a trumpeting sort of sound. Imagine hearing a T-Rex approaching through a low, deep, growling and hissing sound. Terrifying. 5. Dinosaurs can't be brought back to life. It was the premise of the best-selling book Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton that dinosaurs could be brought back to life. By tracking down dinosaur DNA, particularly through their ingested blood in mosquitoes trapped in amber, scientists could fill in gaps in the DNA to create living dinosaurs. DNA, or deoxyribonucleic acid to give it its full name, is a chemical found within all living things, and it contained the instructions for how that living thing should grow and look. Although some chemicals from dinosaurs have survived and can be studied, DNA only survives for around 1 million years at most. The last of the dinosaurs died out around 65 million years ago, so their DNA will no longer be around. If you've seen my previous 10 things you should know about dinosaurs video, you'll know that birds evolved from dinosaurs. Scientists have discovered that by switching off or on different bits of DNA in chickens, it is possible for a chicken to grow a snout and teeth instead of a beak. So it could be possible to tweak the DNA of birds at different parts of their development in different ways to have them resemble their ancient ancestors. However, this brings up concerns about animal welfare and ethical science. For now anyway, it's best to sticking with learning what we can about dinosaurs from what they left behind and not try to make them ourselves. 6. Paleontologists don't spend all their time digging. To provide insight into what is involved in working as a paleontologist, here again is Professor of Paleontology, Steve Brusatte.
There's a lot of different components of my job, and every day is quite different. So there are times that I'm teaching. I teach a lot of courses. I teach undergraduate courses in geology and in paleontology. I teach courses for older students, for master's students as well. And I also run a master's course. We have a one-year program where students can come and study paleontology specifically and do a research project and take a few advanced courses. And I run that program. I also have many PhD students that work with me. That's like the next level up. There's all these different levels of education. And so being a PhD student is really kind of like having an entry-level job You get paid for it, and you work with a supervisor, who's me in this case, and you work in a lab. So I have a lab, I run that lab, and I have many students working with me. And then in addition, I do other things at the university. I have different roles, just helping with the development of courses and with the way the university runs. And then I do a lot of outreach, writing, science communication. I love writing books. I love giving lectures to the public, to kids, really to anybody who's outside of the university setting. I love teaching in the university, but I really love bringing my research out of the university. And then during those lucky times of the year, I do get to leave my office and go out into the world, into the field, to go out and search for dinosaurs and other fossils. So I go to places like New Mexico in the US. I go to places closer like the Isle of Skye here in Scotland, and a variety of places in Europe and really around the world. It really varies, but we're always going out as most of the time that we can find to do it. You know, with COVID, it's changed that, and it's been a few years since I've been out, but we're always wanting to go out and discover new fossils, because a big part of paleontology, not the only part of paleontology, but a big part of paleontology is finding new fossils. And there are still a lot of fossils that are out there waiting to be found.
7. Dinosaurs were not green and scaly. When dinosaurs were first discovered, paleontologists thought they were closely related to lizards, and therefore they would have greeny-brown scales like modern-day lizards do. However, over time, more has been learned about dinosaurs and their evolution into birds, along with some key fossil finds which suggest that dinosaurs not only weren't scaly, but many of them were covered in feathers and fuzz, just like their bird relatives today. Before coming to the feathers though, let's start with dinosaur skin. The skin of dinosaurs would have been scaly, but not in the overlapping manner of modern lizard scales. Instead, it would have been more bobbled, like the skin of a basketball or a Gila monster, and it would not have been tough. It would have felt like the soft, stretchy skin on chicken legs and feet. Recent fossil discoveries have included fossilised feathers and even hints of pigments or colours within these feathers. It is now known that Tianuraptor was covered in feathers from its head to its arms and its tail. Dinosaurs like Caudipteryx were completely covered in feathers, just like their bird relatives are today. Modern day birds can see a wide range of colours, including some we can't see. It is known that modern birds, like the peacock for example, use this to their advantage and show off colours to attract a mate or scare away threats. It is believed dinosaurs, as the ancient ancestors of birds, may have used their feathers for the same purpose. A T-Rex with feathers on its body would still be a scary sight to behold though. 8. Dinosaurs were not cold-blooded. Cold-blooded animals such as snakes and lizards require the heat of the sun and the temperature around them to heat them up before they can start moving, which is why you may see them basking on a rock. Due to this, it is very unusual to find them in chilly parts of the world. Evidence of dinosaurs evolving into birds and even more recent fossil evidence showing dinosaurs being covered in feathers and fluff suggests dinosaurs would have been well insulated and would have been warm-blooded like birds and mammals. Warm-blooded animals produce their own internal heat, which is why we don't rely on the sun. You've also heard in this video from paleontologist Steve Brusatte saying that fossils can be found all over the world, which provides further evidence that dinosaurs were warm-blooded. The dinosaurs Nanooksaurus and Edmontosaurus lived and hunted where Alaska is today. Although it was warmer there at the time than it is now, it was still much colder than the rest of the world, and being warm-blooded would have been an advantage. Another dinosaur, Laelinosaura, lived within the Antarctic Circle, where it would have to survive months of complete darkness with no opportunity to warm up in the sun, so it was almost certainly warm-blooded. Warm-blooded animals can also be active for longer and grow faster than cold-blooded animals. There is plenty of evidence showing that dinosaurs did grow quickly, and, when added to the evidence already mentioned, paleontologists believe that certainly some, if not all, dinosaurs were warm-blooded. 9. We've not always known what dinosaurs look like. Imagine being among the first humans to ever discover dinosaur bones without a complete skeleton, and how you would picture the rest of the creature. Ancient discoveries of dinosaur bones may even be the root of some dragon myths. This is hardly surprising given that nothing would have been known about dinosaurs at the time, and also taking into account all of the scientific advances that have then improved our understanding of dinosaurs. Even with all of that, how dinosaurs were believed to have looked has changed within my own lifetime, from reptile-like scales to now feathers and fluff. When the first sauropods, long-necked dinosaurs, were discovered, it was believed that dinosaur legs were like those of modern-day lizards, sticking out to the side of the body rather than straight underneath them, which is actually the case. This led some scientists to believe they dragged their bellies along the ground as they walked. Later scientists believed that some of the larger sauropods would have been too big to carry their weight on land, so must have lived in the water, walking along and ducking their long necks under the water to look for food. Iguanodon was first imagined to be a rhino-like creature with a horn in its nose, which later discoveries revealed was actually a thumb spike, and it was imagined at one point that Stegosaurus used the plates in its back as wings to allow it to fly through the air. 10. Dinosaurs are not just for boys. Although dinosaurs are often a fascination of young boys, paleontology is not only for boys, but in fact for people with a wide range of skills and interests. However, don't just take it from me. To expand on this point, here's paleontologist Dr. Paige DiPolo.
Are you interested in becoming a paleontologist when you grow up? One of the things that I think is really important to emphasize to folks is that paleontology really has a place for everyone. I think that one of the challenges that paleontologists face currently is that our image to the rest of the world is as people who spend a lot of time tromping around in remote places looking for fossils. And I have to be careful here because personally, that sort of fieldwork is my favorite part of the job. If you like being outside, camping with your family, being strong while playing sports, or exploring new places, then there is absolutely a place for you in paleontology. But those people who go out to find new fossils aren't the only people who we need to be paleontologists. If you like science, physics, chemistry, biology, there is a place for you in paleontology. If you like learning facts about animals, plants, rocks, and the world, there is a place for you in paleontology. If you are good at math, or building machines, or working on computers, there is a place for you in paleontology. If you love to write stories and enjoy words and language, or if you're an artist and enjoy being creative or drawing, there is a place for you in paleontology. If you are very good at organizing things and keeping track of all your notes, there is a place for you in paleontology. One of my favorite things about paleontology is that whatever talents or skills a person has, they can be used to do cool science in this discipline. Whoever you are, whatever you are good at and love to do, there is a place for those gifts in paleontology.
There are two final thoughts I want to leave you with. One, science is an area of study where what we think we know may be overturned by new evidence, and this is very clear in paleontology. What we know about dinosaurs has continually changed since the first fossils were discovered, and it continues to do so right up to the present day. The fossils of new dinosaurs continue to be discovered, technology continues to improve the quality of the scientific work that can be done, so who knows what new information we will learn in the future about dinosaurs. 2. You're not too young to start on your paleontological journey by heading out looking for fossils. Although having the knowledge is an advantage, you do not need to be an expert to discover fossils, and in fact fossils continue to be discovered by amateur fossil hunters, including children. In my interview with Professor Steve Brusatte, he gives advice for how to start on your fossil hunting journey, so I'd encourage you to watch that video, then get your boots on and go out fossil hunting. Thank you for watching this Things You Should Know video. The majority of the information for this video came from Everything You Know About Dinosaurs Is Wrong by Dr. Nick Crumpton. I covered only 10 of almost 30 areas examined in this book, so it is definitely worth exploring further. The footage of Professor Steve Brusatte and Dr. Paige DiPolo came from previous videos I've made, and I've linked these in the description. You can subscribe to the channel by pushing the button here, and I've added a link here to my other Things You Should Know videos, and underneath to my STEM activity videos and my STEM career interviews. This has been STEM with Mr. N, exploring 10 more things you should know about dinosaurs.